Hey guys, so today's video is going to be a full face of makeup using products I don't really like. I've been seeing this video everywhere recently. I've seen so many people do it, so I'm not exactly sure who started this tag or anything like that. If you guys know who was the first person to create this kind of video, let me know in the comments and then I'll link their video below because I really have no idea. And I tried to search, but I'm not sure who started this. But I've seen so many YouTubers do it, I thought I would give it a try myself. It was a little bit hard for me because I always keep products that I don't really like in a little bin in my bathroom, and then every month I do my disappointing products video, and then once I'm done doing that video I always give away the products because there's always somebody out there that might like it. So I didn't really have a ton of products to do like a full face of makeup, so I had to repurchase a couple of things. And I know you're thinking, wow, you repurchased makeup you didn't like. And yeah, I did, for the sake of this video. Only a couple things though. But you know, it's for the tube. And there are a ton of other makeup products I don't love. Like, these are not just the only ones I don't like. There are a ton I don't like. But today we're gonna be using these. I know some of these might be your absolute favorites, so please don't get offended that my skin might be different from yours. Okay, so let's get started. If you hear noises outside, by the way, there is a lot of construction going on in my house right now, so if you hear drills and hammers and all that, I'm sorry. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna prime my skin. And I'm gonna use the Benefit Porefessional. I bought the little mini version because I just can't get on board with this like everybody else can. I think I used to like it like when I first started my channel, but that's because I didn't really know much about primers. I know people rave about this and it helps fill in pores, but since my skin is so dry, I prefer the kind of primer that really hydrates the skin, so that makeup can apply nice and smooth on top and not so cakey. The Dr. Brandt Pores No More is a great pore filling primer. If I want to fill in my pores, that's always the primer I go for. This one just does absolutely nothing for me, honestly. I don't hate it, but I don't really like it at all. Okay, so for foundation, I'm gonna be using the Nars All Day Luminous Weightless Foundation. Another product I had to repurchase. I don't even know if this is my color. I got the shade Fiji, but I'm pretty sure Fiji is like way too yellow for my skin tone. I purchased this years ago when it first came out because when you think luminous and weightless, like you think that, oh my gosh, this is gonna be perfect for dry skin. But I remember absolutely hating this foundation. It just looked so dry. Ugh, I did not like it at all. So I haven't worn this in like 2 years. I feel like there's a ton of foundations I really don't like. I don't know why I went with this one since I haven't worn it in so long. But I'm a little rocky these days, alright? Trying to make a comeback on my YouTube, even though this video is pre-recorded. But I just remember really disliking this, so I decided to pick it up again and use it today. It's definitely darker than the rest of my body, but I mean, I don't hate this as much as I did before. What happened? I mean, don't get me wrong, I really don't like how this wears throughout the day. I remember, I wore this in Mississippi, so it was a while ago, but I remember it wore so ugly on my skin. It faded in the weirdest way. It kind of started to like break up and look really dry on my skin. And you know what? I can kind of already start seeing the buildup in between my brows. Let me zoom you in. Okay, I'm not so sure you can tell. First of all, excuse my eyebrows, okay? I'm letting them grow out so that I could reshape them. Anyway, it's starting to look cakey right here in between my eyebrows, and you can't really tell on camera, but it looks almost darker right here in the center because the foundation is starting to like collect there. I don't know. But it does not look as bad as I remember it looking. And you know what I think it might be? I don't think I've ever tried this with a beauty blender. I think that when I first purchased this foundation in Mississippi, like I wasn't into the big beauty blender trend yet. Obviously, applying your foundation with a damp beauty blender kind of shears it out and makes it a little bit more hydrating. So I guess it was kind of pointless for this video, but it's definitely not a foundation I'm gonna run to. It's definitely not one I would reach for right away because I don't know, I just don't like how it sits on my skin. I don't know. All right, now I'm gonna go in with some concealer. I'm gonna use the Becca Aqua Luminous Perfecting Concealer. I love the Becca Aqua Luminous foundation. This concealer, not so much. I feel like it doesn't have enough coverage for me. There's something about it. It's just not for me. This might be the perfect concealer for like a no makeup look. I'm someone who rather go sheer on the foundation but have more coverage for concealer. That's why I love the Shape Tape. The Nars concealers are awesome. It's not bad, it just doesn't do enough. And I have so many concealers I like way more than this. It's not enough, it's not enough. I'm actually gonna apply a little bit more just to add some more coverage. Okay, so now I'm gonna set my under eye concealer with a loose powder, and then I'm gonna set my face with a pressed powder. I'm actually gonna be taking the Coty Airspun loose face powder. I think I'm the only person on the planet that doesn't like this powder. This is another product I had to purchase. I really don't like this. I cannot get over the scent. I was trying this out like a year and a half ago, and every time I used it, I just could not get over how bad it smelled. And it would just linger on my skin. And it sets your foundation really beautifully. It gives you a really nice finish, but the scent is so strong for me, and I have a feeling that this was breaking me out when I was using it, because I was getting like these really weird bumps here around my nose. I don't know if the fragrance in this powder was kind of giving me like a weird irritation, but I can't. But I know a lot of people with oily skin really love this powder. I mean, like, it looks so pretty underneath my eyes. It sets the concealer so nicely, but pretty sure this was irritating my skin. I'm definitely gonna give this to my friend Melissa though, because she would love this powder, like love it. And she has oily skin. That's gonna be it. If you're watching this, Melissa, that's coming your way. You might really like this though. Personally, for my sensitive, really dry skin, it's just not my favorite. Okay, so to set the rest of my entire face, this is actually a newer product to me. This is from the brand The Balm, and I love The Balm. They make amazing products, but I really just did not like this, and it's talc free, which is awesome. By the way, this is a powder foundation, and I have used this on its own as a powder foundation or on top of foundation as a setting powder, and both ways I don't like them. I don't think this gives you much coverage at all to be a powder foundation. It's like very sheer coverage, and to set the foundation, it just looks so dry on me. I don't know what it is about it, but I don't like how dry this looks. And I have mine in the shade Lighter Than Light. So I'm just gonna set my skin with this. I think maybe if you have oily skin, you might really like this because it's not like a luminous powder at all. The more I'm wearing this foundation, the more I don't like it. It's like really looking so weird right here, and you can't tell on camera, but... Okay, so I'm not gonna apply too much because I'm already looking pretty powdery. It's just collecting right here in my little nose area. Oh, crapola! I wanted to use a liquid bronzer, and now that's just gonna look terrible on top of the powder. What was I thinking? I can still smell the Coty Airspun powder, by the way. Like, I guess because it's underneath my eyes, it's like right here next to my nose. I just can't stop smelling it, and it's driving me bananas. I'm gonna try to make this work. Honestly, if it looks cakey or gross, it has nothing to do with this product. It has to do with the fact that I put it on top of powder, but this is a liquid bronzer, and this is by Benefit, and it's called Do the Hoola. And the only reason I don't like this is because it is orange. I don't hate the formula or anything. It's just a really warm bronzer, and I am not a fan. In my opinion, it's not as good as other liquid bronzers on the market. The Cover FX one is my absolute favorite, but that one is pretty pricey. Bare Minerals has one that's really nice. It's like a serum bronzer. That one is awesome. This is just like the weirdest color. And honestly, I'm just personally someone who doesn't love warm bronzers. Like, I know a lot of people like MAC Give Me Sun. On my skin tone, it looks orange, like straight up orange, but it does look really pretty on like tan skin, because when Desi wears that bronzer, Desi Perkins, it looks so pretty on her skin. I would totally use that today if I had it, but I don't have it. It looks extremely patchy, but that's probably because I put powder underneath. Okay, so I'm gonna set down that bronzer with a powder bronzer that I don't love. This is the Marc Jacobs Omega bronzer in the shade Tantric, not to be confused with their brand new one that's around for summer called Tantastic, because that bronzer is my newest obsession. The original one I don't love that much. You can probably guess why. There's nothing wrong with this bronzer in terms of formula. It blends really nicely. I love it. I just don't love the color. I think it's a little bit too warm for my skin. I don't like how it looks. Every time I wear it, I'm like, I wish I would have worn a different bronzer. And for as expensive as this is, I shouldn't feel that way. But I keep it because, I mean, I don't know why I keep it, honestly. But I'm just gonna blend some of that onto my skin to warm it up. Warm it up. Literally, because it's very warm. Obviously, this is looking extra crazy because, oh my god. I shouldn't have put on the Do the Hoola. This video is a mess. I'm just gonna blend some of that on my neck so that everything kind of matches. When I'm self-tanning, this bronzer is not bad. Like I said, if you're a little bit deeper than me, you might really like this. But for someone with my skin tone or even more fair, this is just, it's too orange. Okay, for blush, I'm gonna take another highly raved about product. I mean, people love this blush, and it is the Nars Orgasm blush. I just have it in this like limited edition packaging. I got it for PR and they sent out like really big versions of Orgasm. That's why it looks larger. I don't like how there's glitter in it. I do like a blush with a little bit of a sheen. I love to look glowy. It's just this has like actual glitter in it. I'm just gonna apply some to my cheeks. I also think this blush might be a little bit too pink for me. Or at least a little bit too pigmented. I didn't really apply that much and I feel like there's a lot of blush on my face. I didn't mean to do that. It looks pretty from far. Like when I move my face, you can see that it's a pink with a little bit of a golden sheen, but when you look up close to my skin, you see all the gold glitter just like on my face. And you guys know how I feel about glitter. I don't like it on my cheek. I'm sure a lot of you guys love it, but I don't like the texture. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and add my highlight. And the highlight I will be using is this one by Tarte. This is the Amazonian Clay Highlighter in the shade Sparkler. Not to be confused with the, I cannot stop smelling, the Coty Airspun powder. It's like in my nose. How? Is it just me? Because I can't stop smelling it. Anyway, this is not the exposed highlighter by Tarte that I love. That highlight is beautiful. This one in Sparkler is a little too sparkly for me. Like, I'm gonna zoom you guys in here in a second when I'm done highlighting. Not only do I feel like it's too glittery and too chunky, but I don't think a lot of pigment goes onto your face. Okay, so let me zoom you in. I have like little glitter particles all over my cheek from the highlight, and the highlight just doesn't look even. It looks really chunky on the skin. Not a fan. Okay, so now that I've pretty much completed my entire face, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the eyes. Okay, so for eyeshadow, I'm gonna be taking this one by NYX. This is the Perfect Filter palette. NYX came out with a ton of different Perfect Filter palettes, and I like a lot of them. I just don't like this specific palette. This one is called the Marine Layer palette. There's something about this palette that just doesn't sit well with me. I feel like the color selection is really weird. I can't do a full eyeshadow look and be content with this. I guess because I never wear colors like this, it's weird to me, but I'm gonna take this shade right here and I'm gonna set my primer with this. I sat down to film this video. I was like, oh my god, I don't have any eyeshadow I don't like. I make eyeshadow work for the most part, but this was just like not my favorite. This is the kind of palette I feel like I have to go into other palettes in order. I hate that little thing that pops up. In order for it to work, I feel like I have to go into other palettes, but I'm actually gonna take this color right here, even though it has a sheen to it, and I'm just gonna start building this color into my crease, kind of use this as a transition shade. I'm also gonna run that shade on my lower lash line. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep it simple and I'm gonna take this maroon shade and I'm just gonna focus this on the outer corners. I've actually never used this shade in the palette, so this one might be really nice. I'm gonna take that same color with that same brush and run it on the outer corners of my lower lash line as well. It's very pigmented, wow. Okay, so that's not bad. The colors I don't like are these two shades right here. This blue I don't like. I can make this work with a little bit of Fix Plus, let me tell you. But out of all the palettes in my collection, the one I don't like that much is this one, so I thought I would use it in this video because I didn't want to go out and purchase an entire eyeshadow palette that I didn't really like when I had this one that I'm probably gonna give away because I don't really like it. Okay, so now I'm gonna add some liquid eyeliner. This is the Urban Decay Razor Sharp Longwear Liquid Liner. I don't like these at all. These are so watery. I feel like you really have to add a few layers for it to look as pigmented as you would like it to be. And I'm taking the shade Push. Let's try a second layer. Okay, see how much nicer it looks on the second layer? And even then, it's so watery. When When you work in little sections and dip your brush in like every 2 seconds, you could totally make this work. Maybe, let me try to do a third layer right here because it looks a little patchy, but maybe we can fix it. This is definitely not a matte eyeliner, by the way. If you like matte like I do, you won't like this. Now that we've done that delicious, shiny, sheer wing, I'm gonna go ahead and apply some mascara. So I'm gonna be using this guy. This is the Giorgio Armani Eyes to Kill mascara. This is like super highly raved about. Everybody loves it and it gives me good volume. I like how it looks on my lashes, but by the end of the night, I don't know what it is about me and this, but it smudges all over the place. Every time I wear this, I have black eyeliner all over the bottom by the end of the night, and nobody wants that. So I really have only used this twice because I just can't. And for that reason, I would not personally recommend it, but I know a lot of people rave about it, so I'm assuming it doesn't happen to a lot of people. So yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put on some mascara on my top and bottom lashes, and I will be right back. All right, so we are officially almost done with this blue and gray makeup look. I'm gonna go in with my lip color, and actually I don't like this lip color because of all the chunky weird glitter. This is another product from Giorgio Armani. I was either gonna use this or the Urban Decay Vice liquid lipstick, like the glittery ones. Those are terrible. I personally don't like them at all. They're patchy and they're weird, so I would skip those for sure, but I also really don't like this. This, like I said, this is the Giorgio Armani Ecstasy Lacquer in the shade 202. Now, the rest of the Ecstasy lacquers might be really nice, but this one in the shade 202 doesn't work for me because of this like glitter goopy mess. I don't like this. And the texture of this is so bizarre. Like, it feels goopy, even though it doesn't look goopy, it feels goopy on the lips, and like that there's this weird layer on top of your mouth. And yeah, it's a pretty color, I guess, but like, do you see much happening there? All you really see is like this glittery sheen, and this is not flattering throughout the day. First time I wore this, I wore it on top of a nude lip liner, and it faded in the weirdest way. Like, there was a lot of glitter buildup in the middle of my mouth here. I also really hate the taste of this. Like, I'm not eating it, but I can taste it. It has a really strong chemical taste, and it doesn't smell bad at all. It has a pleasant scent, but the taste is gross, and I do not like how this feels sitting on my lips. I don't like this. Maybe the other Ecstasy lacquers are good, but okay guys, so that completes this video. This was my full face of makeup using products I don't really like. I'm sure I could have used other products that I hated even more, but I really couldn't think of any, and I got rid of so many. I felt silly purchasing like a bunch of makeup I really hated. You know, I don't know. So yeah, I don't really love any of the products on my face. I don't use them at all. There are a ton of other products in my collection I like way more. So yeah guys, that completes this video. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. All Day Luminous. Wait, I have an itch.
Come on, Celine.
This is another a cooler version of this Hoola. Stop growling, poto.